Lucy, I can't see. Oh, I know Lucy Murphy. She sang here the last time. Yes, she didn't have a mask on then. Lucy Murphy, of course. Someone had told me that you were going to be here.
You better listen, my brother. If you do, you can hear. There are voices still calling across the years. They are crying across the ocean. They are crying across the land. And they will, till we all come to understand. None of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. There are people in darkness. They just can't see the light. If we don't say it's wrong, then that says it's right. We got to feel for each other. Let our brothers know we're here. Got to get the message. Send it out all loud and clear. None of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. Well, I swear to you, salvation isn't very hard to find. None of us can find it on our own. We got to join together, spirit, heart, and mind. So all the souls who are suffering know they're not alone. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. None of us are free. Can I get a little few more oohs? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. None of us are free. If you just look around you, you're gonna see what I say. That the world is getting smaller each passing day. Now it's time to make some changes. It's time we all realize that the truth is shining right before our eyes. None of us are free.
None of us are free.
None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free. It's a single truth.
Single truth.
We all need to see.
Need to see.
None of us are free. One of us is chained. None of us are free. None of us. 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 None of us are free.
None of us.
Critical. Steve Jones told me about you.
He doesn't like a piano that's not tuned. I don't blame him. But for Julian Assange, you can play any piano, really. All right, don't go anywhere because we have a late arrival here that was supposed to be here early, but he walked all the way on the other side of town. He couldn't get a cab. But you know him. He's the one that exposed all of the stuff by Sheldon Adelson and the attempts on Julian's life 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I remember he did that show with me, and that big article came out in the Grayzone, and you can see it by Max Blumenthal from the Grayzone. He's done so much work. He's one of the greatest writers, investigative journalists around today. Would you please welcome Max Blumenthal?
Thank you, Randy. And the Adelson investigation, I mean, I owe a lot to Randy. So many of these stories that you see come out unexpectedly about Julian Assange and the plotting against him by the terrorist wing of the corporate state known as the CIA. Randy had a hand in that. He's a force. And there's actually a documentary online about Randy. If you all want to see what a real activist is about, it's called, 60 Spins Around the Sun? Go on YouTube, watch 60 Spins Around the Sun, and see what Randy has been doing over the years, even before he began standing up for whistleblowers, because he is a real inspiration to me, as are all of you, being out here in the cold. It's freezing. Yeah, suck it, Al Gore. It's cold. But it's not a laughing matter. It's not a laughing matter because, I mean, where's the media today? Other than one of my favorite writers, Leonardo Flores, we got my man right here.
Al Jazeera.
Al Jazeera. Good. Wow. Okay. So sort of mainstream media. I mean, like 15 years ago they called you terrorist media, but now it's kind of mainstream.
I was there.
My man right here is live streaming with one hand, no glove on.
Oh yeah.
Back your hands all red.
Freezing.
About to come off. I mean, these are the real heads out here, the real media. But what I'm talking about is the media that actually feasted off of all of the leaks. That feasted off of WikiLeaks, that relied on WikiLeaks for so many front page stories, which embarrass the corporate security state that controls this country, that embarrassed the corporate parties that we have as our choices, that upset and infuriated the CIA and left them on an insane revenge mission to poison Julian Assange. That media is directly threatened by the case against Julian Assange, the case to continue to kill Julian Assange, and they are absent. They are not here. This is an act of betrayal by our corporate mainstream media, by the whole media, against the First Amendment that is supposed to protect them. And I always come here and remind people of the time when I actually called up the Washington Post national security reporter and other national security reporters who met with Julian Assange at the Ecuadorian embassy in London and had their devices opened and hacked by CIA assets posing as security guards. I mean, it's all been confirmed. I have photos of their devices opened, their phones. Now, can you imagine if Vladimir Putin's FSB did that to U.S. journalists? It would have been front page. None of them said a word. None of them said a word. Ellen Nakashima from the Washington Post did not say a single word about having her devices hacked into by the intelligence agency that she's supposed to cover. Because why? I mean, I can only assume because those are her sources. That's who gets her the stories. So they've sided with Julian Assange's would-be assassins over the First Amendment. That's our media. Then we got Congress. One of the most prominent figures to emerge in the past year or two in this really insane political environment on the Democratic side is a constitutional lawyer, a very esteemed constitutional lawyer in the House named Jamie Raskin. And he's made his name on the January 6th committee, howling about the insurrectionists who all went home at 6 p.m. after a little bit of tear gas was in the air. The insurrectionists, we're still hearing about the insurrectionists. We don't hear about the people in air-conditioned offices who are in Langley and in the death corridor in Northern Virginia who are instrumentalizing insurrections around the world, from Hong Kong to Venezuela to Nicaragua. We don't hear about them, but we always hear about these goofballs who ran up in the Capitol on January 6th when there was just mysteriously the police just, I mean, I was there. I was like, where are the cops? Like, Jamie Raskin has made his name off that as a constitutional lawyer. And he's someone who says that he believes in defending democracy and the Constitution. He's the son of someone, Marcus Raskin, who was actually an anti-war activist, very well known in Washington. And has he said a goddamn word about Julian Assange? No. This is the trial of the century for the First Amendment and human rights. And human rights. Because it's a trial about someone who is not an American citizen, who the U.S. regime is trying to extradite here. My body, my choice. Shout out. Yeah, I still believe in bodily autonomy. I don't know if you all do. Anyway, they are trying to extradite someone who is not a U.S. citizen to the United States with the consent of his own government in Five Eyes U.S. vassal state Australia, with the consent of U.S. lapdog transatlantic poodle United Kingdom. You can see how these governments exercise their sovereignty. They don't. They are Five Eyes junior partners, and Julian Assange is collateral damage. His citizenship does not matter because of his political opinions. And it is the same with Alex Saab, a political prisoner right now. He's in federal prison in Florida. He is a Colombian Venezuelan businessman who tried to secure food and housing for his people in Venezuela and has been kidnapped by the U.S. under the same rules that Julian Assange is about to be, could be extradited, under the same imperial mindset. The rules are the rules-based order that Anthony Blinken, or as I call him, Anthony Blinkscraig, lays out. He calls it the rules-based order, in which we make the rules, because we're the top mafia dog. And so this is mafia law being applied at someone, against someone who has effectively been stripped of his citizenship, to destroy the First Amendment, to hold the media in this country hostage, and to shred the Constitution. And none of these people who say they're fighting for democracy in Congress are doing anything. And that's why it's up to us. And what are the stakes? The stakes are the life of one of the bravest, maybe the bravest journalist of our time, who has been willing to go to the mat for his principles. Having talked to his family, Julian Assange's family, they understand what the U.S. regime wants to do is have him die in prison. And we don't know how much longer he can last. And so that's why we're out here with urgency to call on the Justice Department and the institutions that have failed in this city to act up and save this person's life, because we don't have that much time left. And thank you again for being out here. You all inspire me to keep doing the work that I'm doing.
Catch Max's work at Grayzone News. Maybe you'll see him tonight at 7 p.m. We hope to see a lot of you there. Carry this on through the rest of the day in support of Julian Assange. Let's get a good turnout. It's free for everybody here, and just kind of show up and have a good time. And we can talk strategy afterwards, mix with everybody. And Paula, once again, what a wonderful event that you put on today. Thank you so much for doing this. And Assange Defense, all of you across the country who are putting these kinds of events, keep doing it. This is fundamentally the most important thing that's happening right now, are events like this. So we got to keep growing. I know it seems small, but we're the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. We got to save the Republic. Let's just keep on. Thank you very much, and see you tonight.
That's okay.
Oh, John showed up. All right. Whoa.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's get a group photo again, and then we'll do John. All right. Everybody get back up here again. Max.
Hey, Max.
Oops, sorry.
How are you?
Group photo number 2.
We're going to get a group photo, then the great whistleblower, the courageous whistleblower, the recipient of the prestigious Sam Adams Award, which was given to him by Craig Murray in 2016, when Craig Murray went to the American University. No, I'm kidding. Somebody gave him. Right. Okay, so we got... Let me take... No, they don't. No, I'm just going to take it off for a second.
This is a live stream, so
I'm cool.
not a picture.
All right, so at ease, everybody. At ease. So you'll be there tonight as well, speaking, John. Right, John? Yes. At 7 o'clock. So you all know John Kiriakou. He's written tons of books, and he never spares himself at events like this. He always shows up. John Kiriakou, folks.
I'm sorry I'm late. I have to work for a living. Honestly, I'll only take a minute, and I just want to reiterate what I heard Randy say. Now we're in Washington, and this is where, God forbid if Julian is extradited, this is where the jury pool comes from. And so it's up to us to make sure that we get the word out, that people understand this is a publisher, this is a journalist, this is a slippery slope to fascism if he's extradited and prosecuted. I don't, for the life of me, understand why the Biden administration doesn't just say, look, he's essentially been locked up for 12 years. He's been in solitary confinement for almost all of that time. We declare victory, we drop the charges, and we go home. I don't understand why that hasn't happened. I doubt that it will happen. So in the meantime, it's up to us to keep talking and fighting and get the word out. It's not done yet. We still have the Supreme Court, fingers crossed. We still have the European Court of Human Rights. And then we might have to bring the fight here. So let's do that. Let's fight.
Thank you. All right. See you all tonight. Thank you very much. Let's give Paula a hand. Those still sticking around.
One thing I'd like to ask, I've been coming down from New Hampshire. I was in D.C. 9 times last year. This is not sustainable for me. I know all the activists here are really spread thin. If there can be some kind of monthly action at Merrick Garland's house, to me, that is the best street action I have ever done. Being outside Merrick Garland's house, he knows I'm there. I'm a thorn in his side. I'm a reminder. The Secret Service knows that I'm there. They know me. If we could organize some monthly action where 1 or 2 people go every month, every 2 weeks, and just show up. So it's not the old lady from New Hampshire all the time. I've become wallpaper to them. But if other people show up, it shows that we know that showing up in front of his house is proportionate to what he is doing to Julian. I show up, I put an American flag over the fence and 1 banner, and I sit there. And if the neighbors engage, I give them literature. I call on everybody, just do it. It's not, contact me. I can give you the whole deal on it. That they won't bother you, they won't call the police on you. In a way, he's sanctioned it, and I think we need to continue it, but it can't be me coming down every month. I can't do it. But I feel like it's an action that needs to happen. I really believe in it. So if others would pick it up, I kind of wish that Code Pink would do it, like make it a monthly action and just enlist people and organize. You don't have to be doing it all the time. One person, you could be doing it once every 5 months, just showing up in front of his house. So that's my wish. I hope that others can step up and continue that. And I'm also doing a lantern light vigil with paper lanterns tomorrow, 4 to 6 o'clock in front of his house.
Tell people where it is.
It's public information. It's in Bethesda. It's on Edgemore Lane and Clarendon Street.
By the Bethesda Metro.
It's where?
By the Bethesda Metro.
It is by the Metro. It's a short walk from the Bethesda Metro, the Red Line. So you'll see me. It's by a school. What is that school there? There's a Sidwell Friends, long chain link fence. I'm right there. So the corner is Clarendon Street and Edgemore Lane. All right. Please come out. Thank you.
All right. Peace out. Free Assange.